EJ, anything special about your home state? I guess they'll be watching you a little bit on Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I'm pretty sure a lot of the people back home have watched pretty much all of my games and things like that, but definitely now that we're playing UVA, it's going to be a huge game. I know not a whole lot of guys. There's 2 guys from my high school that play on their defense, but it'll be a good game. Those guys are playing great football right now, so we definitely have to come ready to play.
I'm sure they tried to recruit you, didn't they?
Yes, sir, they did.
Looking back at the film, how do you evaluate your performance against Miami?
I thought it was efficient. You know, it was still a kind of a weird game in a sense. We had a lot of stuff going on with the the penalties and the overturns of calls and things like that. So it's kind of tough to get into a rhythm, but still finish the game with a W. That's all I really care about. As long as we win, I'm happy. But I thought I did well. Didn't turn the ball over. Didn't do anything to hurt my team. So I thought I did pretty well.
Talk about the touchdown pass to Rodney. And you really got to trust the guy to kind of throw the ball into that window that you did.
Right. It was just something that we saw. A couple plays before that, and they showed the same look. And Coach Fisher allowed us to make the call, and actually he made the call, and he allowed us to go out and execute it. I definitely trust Rodney as a big receiver on smaller DBs. So anytime you get a chance to take advantage of a mismatch like that, you want to do it. So I just stuck the ball in there. He made a great catch.
Is it tough to get into it? You have those 8 reviews and all that stuff, for better or worse, good calls or not good calls, right. Regardless. Is it hard as a quarterback to stay in the flow of the game or the rhythm of the game when you're having all this sort of random delay?
I wouldn't say it's hard. It's just kind of weird. And the game is a lot longer than you think it is. I mean, you're used to just, you obviously have TV timeouts and things like that. So that's something I got accustomed to, last year or whatever. But it's something that you just got to focus on. If it's adversity, if the game's going to be slowed or delayed, you still got to focus in on what you have to do when you actually get out there on the field. So it doesn't really play a huge role on us. But it was different. The game seemed a lot longer than it really was.
You feel like maybe now with 5 wins in a row that the team is playing like they were anticipated to play at the first of the year?
I think people just expected us to win. I don't think it's whether we play this good or play however good. I think that was the main thing, just to win games. So I'm sure anybody would say, yeah, this is how they anticipated us to do. Be undefeated and all that kind of stuff. Have a bunch of wins in a row. But that's not the case. We're still however many wins and losses. So you just got to go out there and play games. I honestly I can't even think of the record on top of my head. I just go out there and try to be 1-0 at the end of every week. So we're doing well so far. Just got to continue to win. And this was definitely a dogfight. The Miami game came down to kind of just a great catch by O'Leary on the onside kick. So kind of sealed the game for us. So it was a dogfight and we still won. So I think this was definitely an earned victory for us.
Well, being back in the poll, Coach was asked about that a few minutes ago, and you are back in both top 25s. I think you're 25 in the BCS. Does that have any significance for you and your teammates?
Not really. I didn't even know. But it is nice to be back in the polls. I'm sure our fans are excited about that. Be back ranked and things like that. I think probably the only Florida school that's still ranked, or that's ranked now. So that's good. But it's something that we really don't focus on that much. I just continue to win games. We only have 3 more games left, including the bowl game. So just got to win out and finish the season strong.
EJ, what can you guys do better in short yardage? That's been a bugaboo the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, just continue to pound it in there. Just get open lanes. Sometimes you just somebody have to make a great block. Somebody has to make a great run. Maybe if we can do some play action passes or something like that to catch a defense. Off balance, they're expecting to run, so maybe we could do a little fake and throw the ball downfield. But that's definitely something we're going to focus on today. Coach Coley, kind of grilled us a little bit in the meeting this morning. And not, anything that, negative. It's just, we got to get these short yardage things. These are goals that we have to reach, week in and week out to be successful.
Have you pressed at all on that issue, EJ, about throwing a quick pass? That's something you guys, I don't think, tried that.
I don't think so. I'm going to trust whatever play call Coach Fisher has. He has things that he wants to do in the game plan. Going into the game, like on that Friday, we have plays that we'll know what we're going to call in a certain situation, whether it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2. So I'm going to trust those calls, and sometimes it doesn't work. That defense is still good. They're going to make plays sometimes, and it's not always going to be perfect for us. So at the same time, still got to make a great block or a great run.
But in that conversation, do you press for anything or something you think that you share with Coach and say, look, and you don't have to tell me what it is,
Right.
but I mean, you push a little bit for a certain play, maybe something you haven't tried.
I have before, but like I said, he's the coach, so he's going to call the play.
You haven't won many, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I haven't won many discussions on that one, but you know, he's the coach, and that's what we're going to run.
How many checkoffs would you say you had in that game?
Probably about 8, as far as like runs or, you know, from a run to a pass or throwing the bubbles and things like that. He kind of gives me, you know, a bit of freedom to do that. I think he obviously trusts me now. He know I can play, and you know I can read the defense and things like that. So I'd say at least 8 or 10.
Virginia's controls their own destiny in the Coastal. You talk about having the opportunity to play spoiler.
Not really trying to be a spoiler in anybody's season, but we definitely want to win. You know, we're going to compete. We're going to try to continue to do what we've been doing these last 5 weeks. It doesn't matter whether it's UVA or any other team. So that's the way we're going to handle it. These guys are playing great football, and we're going to continue to play great football too.
EJ, on that third one in the first quarter when you were in the shotgun, I guess Jimbo said after the game that he didn't realize they slipped another big guy in there and that was sort of the wrong call. What did you see there, and do you have any leverage to get out of that if you thought there was maybe another big?
Yeah, see, I had thought about it in my mind, but, you know, I wasn't going to overturn what Coach Fisher, you know, had called. So, you know, it was a big-time situation early in the game especially. But when I got to the sideline, I told him what I saw, and, you know, he was saying the next time if I do see that, go ahead and, you know, do what I do. But definitely, I wasn't going to overturn it. And he was like, well, why'd you change it and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's going to, you know, allow him to still coach the offense.
EJ, how big was it your first 6 wins were all by 25 points or more. You hadn't really won a close game. How big is that to win a close game?
That's what I was saying. This was definitely a dogfight, and I think definitely an earned victory because it was so close. It came down to the wire. So, you know, for us as a team to have that victory, and especially being over Miami, you know, a great opponent, a great, you know, rival. So, you know, it was huge. I think it gives us a lot of, you know, confidence going into this next game. It's our 5th victory in a row, so, you know, we're feeling good, and we like the taste of winning.
Quarterbacks tend to get measured here by how their success against Miami, EJ. I'm sure that's something you're aware of.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure you're glad to have that one behind you.
Definitely.
Did that kind of thought keep something that ever crossed your mind?
Not really. Like I said, I don't really try to focus on, I got to do this X amount of passes on this team or anything like that. I got to play extra special against Miami, or I got to play extra special against another team. You know, I just want to focus and go out there and play well. It doesn't matter who we play against. So it doesn't matter. But obviously, you know, I'm happy we won. It was my first start against Miami, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy that we did take care of business.
EJ, how difficult is it to play a team as good as Virginia in between your 2 major rivals?
I don't think it's that difficult. I think, you know, we kind of expect a great matchup every week, whether it's anybody we play. We feel like somebody always wants to beat Florida State. You know, I think that's something that they can always say, yeah, we knocked off FSU, so we still had a pretty good season. So, you know, it just happens that it's UVA and they're playing great football, so, you know, we know they're going to bring their A game, so we have to as well.
Kind of a quarterback's worst nightmare. You on the goal line, you go back to pass, turn around, there's 3 guys on you. What happened on that play?
Yeah, it was basically a free snap, and you know, Austin snapped the ball a little early, and I wasn't ready for it. I didn't even have my mouthpiece in my mouth yet, but it happened, and you know, it was just, you know, I don't even want to say it's a rookie mistake, and you know, it can happen to anybody. You know, sometimes you forget when you get down on the line that, you know, it is a free snap, so it, you know, it's just one of those things that happen in the game. It was a wrong time for it to happen, but you know, I kind of felt bad for him. At the same time, just, you know, I'm lucky that it wasn't a safety. You know, I got the ball out in the right time. It was an intentional grounding, but I'd rather it be that than give those guys 2 points. So it's one of those situations that happen, and you just got to process it.
Did you get your mouthpiece in?
I think I did. Because it was funny, the defense didn't move either. So when I caught the ball, I was like, all right, let me just throw my mouthpiece in real quick and see if I can move around. And obviously it didn't work, so I just got the ball out my hands. And it was a crazy play, though.
Did looking at the film, did Jimbo or Damian say anything to you like, EJ, you don't have to put the mouthpiece back?
Well, I didn't know what else to do with it, just throw it on the ground or something. So just my first instinct, just put it in my mouth. But I don't know, it was a crazy play. I don't know if Jimbo noticed it or not. But,
To go back to the recruiting process, you were early for Florida State, I do remember that.
Yes, sir.
And UVA recruit you hard? Was there never any interest on your part? Can you explain kind of what happened in that process?
Yeah, they offered me, I want to say, my 10th grade year or early in my 11th grade year. And Coach Grove was the head coach at the time. And I definitely had interest at UVA. But, you know, I had so many offers. There was a lot of, you know, other programs that I liked and things like that. So it was nothing against, you know, that program. It's an awesome school. You get a great education from there. But at the time, their football program wasn't, you know, as great as they are now. So that's kind of why I looked elsewhere.
This, their defense seems like pretty good. London's seems like a defensive guy,
Yeah.
and they've traditionally had, even when you were in high school, they had really good defensive
Yeah,
players.
definitely.
Is that kind of what you know Virginia for, sort of?
Oh, yeah. They always have great defensive ends. I know that's one thing that they always have. I think Long was the last defensive end that was really good there, but they've always had, really big guys on the defensive front. So I know the pass rush is going to be, it's going to be there. And, obviously our offensive line is going to work and be prepared for that. And, I get my checks as far as sighting and, hot reads and all that kind of stuff. And if they do blitz a lot, which I don't think they do a whole lot of blitzing, but they do blitz. So we'll be prepared for all assets of the game. That's the game.
Are you particularly excited? I mean, I know you're pretty calm, cool most of the time, but are you a little extra excited with being in Virginia or not?
Not really. Not really. It's just the next game. It doesn't matter who we're going to play next, but I'm sure I'll be excited the day of. But right now, I'm still pretty calm about it and not really worried about it being, my state school. Because when I grew up, I wasn't really big on like just being the state school, being my favorite and things like that. I still like other, great teams in the country.
EJ, how important is it to this team that this is the last game at home for the seniors and this homecoming weekend?
Yeah, I think this is huge, especially for guys that are my age. Guys, I'm still a redshirt junior, but, guys like Nigel and a lot of guys that are just true seniors like Bo Rutherford. So this is definitely a game that, you obviously want those guys to go out there and play well. It being their last home game, it's kind of crazy that, guys I came in with, now it's their last home game. Time really flies. So, hopefully those guys all have great games and, have great memories here playing at Dope.